When you create a document, particularly if it is a long document, you may want to insert header and footer text. Header text is text that will appear at the top of every page, and footer text is text that will appear at the bottom of every page. I will illustrate how to insert a header. I click the Insert tab, and then on the ribbon, click Header, and you have several options. In this case, I'm going to select the second option, which will give me a header with 3 columns. There are 3 placeholders positioned at the top of the page. I'll click in the first one and type my name. The first placeholder is left aligned. The second placeholder is centered automatically, and in this one I'm going to type in the page number. Now to do that, I can type in the number 1, but what will happen is if I simply type in the number 1, then every page will have a 1 on it. What I really need to do is I really need to type in a page number reference. And so to do that, I click Design under Header and Footer. I choose Quick Parts. I choose Field. And then if I want to insert a page number, I scroll down and click Page. I'll click the first format, which means I'll get a 1 on page 1, a 2 on page 2, a 3 on page 3, etc. I'll click OK, and you can see that a 1 has been inserted because this is page 1. I'll then click the third placeholder, which is right aligned automatically, and I'll click Design because in this case I want to insert another field, in this case the date. I'll click Quick Parts, click Field. I'll scroll down to the field Date. Again, I have several options for how I want that date formatted, so I'll just choose the first one. Click OK, and you can see now that the date has been inserted. To exit from the header, you simply double-click in the regular part of the document, which I just did, and if I scroll down, you would see the header on a second page if there was one. But since this document contains only 1 page, I'm going to go ahead and insert a second page. To do that, I click at the end of the document. That would be at right before the last paragraph mark. I'll hold the Control key down, and while I'm holding the Control key down, I'll select Enter. You can see now that a second page has been inserted. It has the same header information, except this time you see that the page number is 2. So the first page has a header with page number 1, the second page, page number 2. If I were to insert a third page, then that middle number would be number 3. You can also edit a header once it has been inserted. First, select the header by double-clicking somewhere within the header, and then you can make any edits that you wish. In this case, what I'm going to do is, instead of just having the page number display in the center of the header, I'm going to insert the word page to the left of the number 1. Let me click on the header, on the page number in the header, and type in page, P-A-G-E space, and then after the 1 I'm going to type in the word of, and then what I'd like to insert is the number of pages, so that the first page would contain page 1 of 2 if there were 2 pages, and the second page would contain page 2 of 2. I don't want to just put a 2 in there because I might change this document at some point and add pages to it. And so then if I had 5 pages, I would want that first page header to say page 1 of 5. So what I'll do is, as with the page number, I'll insert a field. So I'll click Design, I'll click Quick Parts, then Field. I'll scroll down to Num Pages, which is the field that represents the number of pages. I'm not going to apply any special format to it, so I'll just click OK. And you can see now that the header says page 1 of 2. If I double click out of that header and move down to the second page, you'll see it says page 2 of 2. If I were later to add additional pages to the document, then the header would say the first page header would say page 1 of whatever number of pages there were. So if I had 5 pages in my document, that first header would say page 1 of 5. Another thing I want to point out is that formatting a header has to be done separately than formatting the text of the document. Right now, both the header and the text are formatted Calibri font in size 11, but that was simply because that's the default, which I didn't change. If I want to format the header differently from the default, I double click the header and then highlight it. Many times header text is inserted into the document in a little bit smaller font size, so I'll go ahead and click 11 and change that to 8. Then I'll double click outside the header and you can see the effect of that. The size of the header is smaller than the size of the rest of the text. I'll go to page 2 and you can see page 2 of 2 is also smaller. If I wanted to format the rest of the text size 8, I would have to do that separately. Note that the size of the text is still 11. I'm clicking inside the paragraph and you can see that it's 11. But if I double click on the header, click home, you'll see that that's size 8. So remember that when formatting a header, it must be done separately from the text.